Let's see if the setup of the last episode paid off in this episode. We open with dialogue between Iroh and Aang. Aang is pretty pissed at the fact that he's, trapped in jail because of Zuko. Meanwhile, Iroh was seemingly left behind in his eyes, so Aang makes the assumption that Zuko is a terrible person. Well, he already knew Zuko was a bad guy, but then there's betraying blood type of bad. Aang does wonders what will happen to them, only to hear the judicial torture next door. The Mechanist gets grilled by Sokka and Teo over his role in selling weapons to the Fire Nation. Props to Teo's actor, I can get both the energetic kid vibes from him, and I can hear the outright contempt for his dad. Katara, meanwhile, was hunting down Aang and finds out that he's imprisoned. Zuko, meanwhile, shakes down an Earth Kingdom soldier for a disguise to get back into Amashu. One of the better creative choices is that Boomy is the one who carved the bison call, not that Aang bought it off some random pirate shop. It really gives some depth to their relationship. We get a follow-up on the Mechanist plot because they want to use him to set up a trap for spies, but the Mechanist is the Mechanist and would rather run. Okay, he's going to disappear from this point onward, let's be honest. Look, Flopsy's here, only as a statue. Aang recognizes Boomy pretty quickly, which was such a weird creative choices. Meanwhile, Boomy jokes on whether living a long life is good luck or bad luck, which humor's used to hide the fact that he is really self-loathing and cynical. Jet is my least favorite thing about this series so far, mainly because he's a freaking moron in this one, even more so than usual. And he gets deposed pretty quickly in favor of actual interesting plot characters like Boomy. So back with Boomy. Someone got hit with the adaptation cynicism like a tank because man is he a jerk, giving a speech to Aang about how Aang might be old, but he hasn't lived for the 100 years Boomy lived. Boomy has been fighting the same fight for decades. Aang can't believe that Boomy grew to be this jaded. Now you'll be expecting the test. Then we cut to Sokka and Katara in the Cave of Two Lovers, because I find this a tremendous waste of time that we could spend developing Jet and the Mechanist and Boomy and Oh, and I'm sure someone's going to go, Avatar is woke, because Oma and Shu are depicted as a lesbian couple here, and I'm just going to go, who gives a crap? This subplot could be used to develop a bunch more interesting plot points. So yeah, instead of Oma and Shu mirroring Aang and Katara, it's really about the sibling bond between Sokka, Katara, and a bunch of badger moles that get involved. We get some more details on the siege of Ba Sing Se and why the Earth Kingdom soldiers are so harsh to Iroh, how the situation in Ba Sing Se was so dire that water had to be rationed and death was everywhere. This is why the guards were more willing to torment Iroh, to the point that even one of them was about to kill him right then and there, only for the Earth Kingdom soldiers to say, hey, knock it off. We do get something the original series didn't do and have Ozai and Iroh interact. We also get some expansion with Zuko and Lu Ten's relationship. Lu Ten was really close to Zuko, even giving Zuko a medal that Lu Ten had earned for coming in first during the officer class. This does wonders for Iroh's storyline and Zuko's relationship. Man, is it the best parts of the series going to be the Fire Nation royal family's drama? Boomy duels Aang and lectures him about impossible choices, basically dangling two boulders over their heads, one over Aang, one over Boomy's, and Boomy basically tells him, pick who you want to save. However, Sokka and Katara intervene, which basically means we sort of flip the table. Episode ends with the Fire Nation ready to attack Omashu, but Boomy says they'll be prepared. I think we can say that this is what we in the angry critiquing people industry call a massive misfire. My biggest problem with this series so far is that it misplaces a lot of things, and it makes the pacing feel so off. The series presents a lot of good ideas and interesting changes, but there really isn't that much time to develop them and give them depth. Cave of Two Lovers? Well, we can't actually create the suspense the original series gave us, so we resorted to just having Katara and Sokka wander about it. Jet? He's frozen rather quickly in this episode that I glossed him over completely. The Mechanist and his son? Well, he disappears because we need to focus on Boomy and Aang, which was interesting, in that Boomy became jaded, but then we had that awful Sokka Katara subplot with the Cave of Two Lovers, and I'm just, no, you're not making this stick together well. It's just so poorly done. You're lacking cohesion, and that's its biggest sin. But those are just my thoughts. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.